All right, everybody, we are back again. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Wednesday night. We have moved now to 7 o'clock, so an hour later than normal, but that's all right. We're in prime time, you would say. So tonight, I figured that we did a lot of like rating shows over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Best college football players, best NFL quarterbacks, best receivers, and so on and so forth, best running backs. But tonight, I figured we would do a hodgepodge show. And this show is basically just going to be questions, and then I'll try to answer them to what I think. And then you guys can feel free to text in on the text line at Sutter Heyman text line at 402-464-5685 with what you think. And then you can also tweet at me at ChrisRaff7, ChrisRaff7, and let me know what you think, and then I can always respond back that way. So, or you can just follow me on Twitter too. That's always nice to get a follow, and I will follow you back too. So don't worry about that. You always get a follow back from me. So, all right. So the first question of the night: who is going to be the NFL MVP, the most valuable player of the NFL this upcoming season? I am going to go with, this is a tough one. My head is saying, I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. I know it's not much of a shocker there, but right now he's the best player in the league, and you got to think that they're going to keep things up in Kansas City. So I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. The reason why I was struggling there to make a decision was he's not high up on the Las Vegas odds boards right now, and I'm not sure why, but I just think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a big year for the Jets. It just his demeanor and just his attitude this year just seems like he's back to the Aaron Rodgers of, I want to say old. I just felt like the last couple of years in Green Bay, he did win the MVP 2 years ago, but last year it just looked like he just lost all of his love of the game. And I know he was injured. He had the hand injury, but it just looked like there was just something missing in Aaron Rodgers last year. And it just seems like he's got like that skip in his step again, that glint in his eye. And I think he is due for an MVP season. So I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and then depending on the calf injury of Joe Burrow, I think Joe Burrow is going to be right up there. Anytime he steps on the field, I just think Joe Burrow has that possibility of being an MVP candidate. It's just a matter of what that calf injury is going to be like for him. But I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes for now, but Aaron Rodgers is definitely my sleeper. If I was going out to Vegas anytime soon, I definitely would be looking at the odds board there because I did not see him in the top 5 for the odds in Vegas. So Aaron Rodgers would definitely be a guy that I would definitely feel good about, maybe taking a chance on him. All right, now we're going to switch it up a little bit, and we are going to look at the NFL Offensive MVP of the year. Out in Vegas right now, they have Chase, Jefferson, McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, Chubb, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Fields. I am going to go with my Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going to shake it up a little bit. I'm going with Justin Fields. I know he's not high up on the list, but I just think that he's got a year under his belt now. We've seen the mobility. We've seen the way he escapes. We also see the way he gets downfield in a hurry. And I think you got DJ Moore there now. You've got some weapons for him that he can use in the passing game. I'm not sure how it will play out with him because what could happen too with him is he could garner MVP votes, and most likely they're going to differ. Your Offensive Player of the Year and your MVP, it will be two different guys. So if he makes a run and he gets, crazy, he could make a run for, sleeper MVP candidate. But right now, he's going to be my choice for offensive Player of the Year. Also, keep your eye on Christian McCaffrey. The reason for this is he's a dynamic player, as we all know. but he's got another year, or he's got a full training camp and a year from last year, from when he got traded, to be in Kyle Shanahan's offense. And one thing you know about a Shanahan offense is he's going to put you into positions to succeed. He's just like his dad, Mike Shanahan. You saw what the running backs in Denver did for all those years. Anytime that Shanahan was involved with the offense, he definitely gives you that chance to have a lot of yards rushing, but also have a lot of catches out of the backfield. So Christian McCaffrey would probably be, I wouldn't say a dark horse, but he would be probably my second pick. But I'm going to go with Justin Fields. I just, something about him last year, just in the situation he was in, that he was making so much stuff happen that you just did not see all that often. So I'm going with Justin Fields, and then Christian McCaffrey is not the sleeper, but my second pick. And then you also got to beware of Chase and Jefferson, and that they're going to go as their quarterbacks go. So if Burrow's back, Chase is going to be right up there. Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, like we always say about Kirk Cousins, 35 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's just what he's going to give you. Probably nothing more, nothing less. That's his Pro Bowl. So Jefferson will be right up there too. But it'll be interesting to see the Vikings this year, how they do, if they'll give more attention to Jefferson with Thielen being gone, and how that'll look there in Minnesota. So we will go with, like I said, Justin Fields, Christian McCaffrey. And then we'll look at the Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Vegas has got Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Joey Bosa, Ahmad Gardner, Max Crosby, and Aaron Donald. I'm going to go with Micah Parsons here too. I think Micah Parsons he's already a dominant force in the NFL, and I just think that Dallas is just going to put him in a position to be the MVP. I think he's going to be highlighted on that defense. I look for Micah Parsons to have a big year. The guy that was kind of low on that list that I would keep an eye on is Aaron Donald. He's a force. He's the best defensive lineman in the league, or the interior lineman in the league. Sorry about that. He can change a game. The problem that Aaron Donald faces these days is usually he catches up to three guys up in coverage, or up in the interior line blocking him, and that makes it hard. That makes it hard for him. But he lets a lot of other players succeed. So Aaron Donald would be. They're not sleepers, but they're not, your top candidate guys. But Aaron Donald would be my guy that I'd keep a look on. Watt at Pittsburgh, you definitely got to keep your eyes on him. Max Crosby just seems like it's a little too high for me. I don't see that being. If you want to go really dark horse, really dark horse, Allen at Denver. Keep an eye on him. I think he's going to be put in a lot of positions to get a lot of quarterback sacks. So watch him closely. But I'm going to go Micah Parsons also. All right. Now we are going to move on to the Super Bowl. Who do I think will be in the Super Bowl? Of course, we all know that the Broncos are my pick. Hey, if you're a fan, you got to support the Broncos. But I would say teams that you got to keep your eyes on here, definitely the Chiefs. The Chiefs, you got Patrick Mahomes. You always got a chance at Patrick Mahomes. The Jets, I know that's crazy, but man, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, he's got that swag about him. I just think that's huge, and that he's got it back. He's got a team around him. They picked up Dalvin Cook. You got Breece Hall coming off the knee injury. You got Garrett Wilson. He's got his friends. Jets, watch out for them. They got a strong defense. Robert Saleh always puts out a strong defense. Bengals, Joey Burrow. Basically, this is the last year, where he's going to have that full triumvirate of receivers, because they're all going to start hitting contract years. I'm not sure if the Bengals are going to be able to keep them all, but I like the Bengals in the AFC. Miami, maybe. Tua just scares me. I just don't know, what's going to happen with Tua. I hope he stays healthy. I hope he succeeds. But you just never know what those concussions and just the way they were lingering on last year. Just a lot of people are going to have a lot of attention on Tua. And the thing with Tua too is now that he's got that attention, I mean, one stagger on the field or anything that even looks anything like a concussion, they're going to be having him out of there really fast. But we'll see how that all plays out for the Dolphins. In the NFC, I like, man, dare I say it, the Cowboys. I mean, they've got a good defense. They've got a good offense. Hopefully Pollard comes back healthy. But I feel like the Cowboys are going to cowboy, and we all know what that means. As long as Jerry Jones is running the show, you just don't know what's going to happen with the Cowboys. But Cowboys in the NFC, 49ers, just depends on Brock Purdy and, how he recovers from that arm injury. Man, who else out of the NFC? The Vikings, that's another team. You just don't know with the Vikings. Consistency, they're consistent. They're probably going to give you 10 or 11 wins, but at the end of the day, just not sure how that if Kirk Cousins is that guy to get you over the top. But we'll see how it all plays out. But Cowboys, 49ers. Trying to think who else is out there that might give you some fits. But it just seems like the AFC is loaded with quarterbacks these days, and it seems like it's a quarterback-driven league. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Now we are going to move on to, this is kind of just a little tidbit that I was just kind of looking up when I was looking for questions and stuff like that. Can you tell me winning percentage, not by total wins, because we know Don Shula and Bill Belichick are going to battle that out for top wins. Belichick should surpass him this year, I believe. But by winning percentage, who is the winningest coach in NFL history? I'll give you a couple seconds. We'll get some responses here on the text line, 402-464-5685, or feel free to tweet at me or X at me or whatever they call it now. It's a crazy world out there. But the all-time winningest coach by winning percentage, this is crazy, is Guy Chamberlain. Now you might say, Raff, why are you talking about Guy Chamberlain? Who is Guy Chamberlain? Guy Chamberlain went to the University of Nebraska, and he's actually a Pro Football Hall of Famer in Canton. He coached for 5 years. He racked up a 58-16-7 record from 1922 to 1927. That's a 784 winning percentage. He coached at places like the Canton Bulldogs, Frankfurt, Cleveland, Chicago. He also played for some of those teams where he made himself a Pro Football Hall of Famer. But what is crazy about this is all these years I've been to the Hall of Fame. We even saw Guy Chamberlain, me and my buddy Brad, when we went up to the Hall of Fame. We saw Guy Chamberlain, and we weren't familiar with him at the time, but doing studies, we found out that he was a great end at Nebraska, played in the NFL. But what I did not know until today was that he is the winningest percentage coach by percentage in the history of the NFL. And these names that he's up there with are incredible. So you've got Guy Chamberlain from Nebraska. I just got to get that in there, always got to throw out that from Nebraska. In second place, we got that TV broadcaster, the boom, 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 zoom, zoom, John Madden. It's 759. So John Madden, a lot of people don't know just how great a coach John Madden was, but John Madden for the Raiders was an excellent coach. He got a Super Bowl victory with the Raiders, but moved on, to the broadcast at CBS. Pat Summerall, John Madden, legendary. But before he did that, he was a great coach for the Raiders, and he probably could have coached for another 10 or 15 years, but just some medical issues and stuff like that. He just had to calm down, and he made himself up to the box, and had an incredible career up there. But don't forget about how great John Madden was as a head coach in the NFL. And then in third place has got some coach that coached for the Packers and the Redskins, Vince Lombardi. You might have heard of him. Won the first 2 Super Bowls. The trophy, it's got his name on it, the Vince Lombardi Trophy, which all 32 teams compete for every year in the NFL. But at the end of the day, when you look at winning percentage, with a 784 winning percentage, is Guy Chamberlain from the University of Nebraska. And I like I said, I did not know that that was out there. But it's just pretty cool to think that Nebraska has the best winning percentage coach in the history of the NFL. And I'm not sure if 784, even if you come close. Right now, current coaches, the highest winning percentage is Jim Harbaugh. He's under the 700 threshold. I think he's in the 68, 69% threshold. So I don't see anybody climbing up and taking over that 784 winning percentage of Guy Chamberlain. So congratulations to Mr. Guy Chamberlain. He was actually Blue Spring. I believe he was born in Blue Springs, but he actually passed away in 1967 living here in Lincoln, Nebraska. So pretty cool to have that. So now we will move on to, we got a little hodgepodge of questions going on right here. So we're going to throw this out right now. We're going to say, what is your favorite NFL game of all time? Your favorite NFL game of all time. Feel free to text in again, 402-464-5685, the Starter Heyman text line. My favorite NFL game of all time would be Super Bowl 32. That's the Denver Broncos versus Green Bay Packers. I know you guys are all surprised by that just because, well, hey, it was John Elway's first victory. That was first Super Bowl victory. That, for me, that was the coolest NFL game that I'd ever seen. Another one up there would be the drive in Cleveland back in '86. And not Broncos, but probably the game that probably one of the most entertaining games that I've seen would have probably been the AFC Championship game. Wasn't the AFC Championship game, it was a divisional game. The Bills versus the Chiefs, when at the end of the game, when Mahomes and Allen were going back and forth and they scored that crazy amount of points in 30 seconds. And then they went to overtime and then they lost the coin flip. Then Kansas City went down, got the score and got to move on, I believe, to the AFC Championship game against, or maybe it was the AFC, or now I'm getting confused because I know they played the championship game and divisional game. Okay, it was the AFC Championship game because last year they played in the divisional game and then they moved on and played the Bengals to get to the Super Bowl. So they were both divisional games. So it was a divisional game because the Chiefs played the Bengals at Arrowhead. The Bengals won. They went to the Super Bowl. And then the next year the Chiefs won and went to the Super Bowl over the Bengals. So they were divisional games. But that Bills-Chiefs game, that was probably one of the most entertaining games that I've seen. How about you guys? What's the entertaining game for you? Now we will move on and we will talk. Not going to talk too much about it just because, I don't know, it's really not my sport. I watched a little bit of it, but I got asked the question. I mean, it's a hodgepodge show. And if you're doing a hodgepodge show, who is the greatest basketball player of all time? I've asked it. I know. Who do you think that my choice would be? All right. 3, 2, 1. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. That is my number one player of all time for basketball. I know a lot of people are going to go with LeBron James. There might even be some out there that go Kobe Bryant. It's funny is I start to think maybe Kobe could be number 2 and then LeBron 3. That'll get me in a lot of trouble. And I know LeBron's the all-time leading point scorer. I know he's been to the finals a ton, but at the end of the day, Michael Jordan, I guess to have been there and to have seen him play, there was an aura around him. At the end of the game, there was no question Michael Jordan's taking the shot. LeBron, he's had moments where he's that guy, but there's also been moments where it's I don't know if I want him taking the final shot. There was just something, I don't know, just an aura around Michael Jordan. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, you were a Michael Jordan guy. Well, I'll be honest with you. I was not a huge Michael Jordan fan growing up. I really wasn't. I kind of remember thinking to myself when I was a kid, when's this guy going to retire? He's just, now he wasn't my cup of tea, but looking back on it now and just seeing, the way Michael Jordan was, what he did, burying the game-winning shot his freshman year against, why am I forgetting the team? Was it Georgetown? Yeah, against Georgetown, I believe it was. I could be wrong on that. Or is it Houston? Sorry about that. It's 1982. It's been a while ago, but just Michael Jordan. He played for Chicago his entire career, other than when he went to Washington after he came back from retirement. Never went to a super team. People be like, well, Scottie Pippen. Well, you got to remember, Scottie Pippen was not highly ranked coming out of college. A lot of that was, Michael Jordan, instilling the skills, instilling the belief in Scottie Pippen to be, what he became. And I think Michael Jordan, I think people forget that a lot. Now they're like, well, he was with Scottie Pippen. I kind of look at that like with Nebraska and, Tommy Frazier. Like, I think people as the years go by forget just how great Tommy Frazier was, because people are like, oh, well, he had all these great players around him. Well, at the time when Tommy came to Nebraska football was sort of, it was fledgling a little bit. They still were putting up 9 or 10 wins a season, but they were going to the bowl games and it wasn't good. I mean, the Georgia Tech game, their Tom Osborne, he had contemplated maybe retiring, just calling it good. What a difference that would have been. But Tommy came to Lincoln and just he infused so much back into the program. It wasn't they were a bad team. It was just he put them over the top. And I think that's a lot about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Is I think people forget that how much Michael Jordan infused into Chicago to make them the team that they were back in the 90s. So I'm going Michael 1. I'll go LeBron at 2. I mean, you can't deny the greatness of LeBron James and what he's done over the years. Just has he went over Michael Jordan? I just don't think so. Kobe, the ultimate competitor. Like, Kobe was not afraid. I know a lot of people are like, oh, LeBron would beat Kobe in a one-on-one game. Not so fast. Kobe was the type of competitor that'd be like, oh, you think so? And then take LeBron out and, deal him up, shut him down, and, and bury a bunch of baskets, because he was the ultimate competitor. And another guy that does not get enough respect, well, 2 other guys. I mean, Magic Johnson, what he did in the 80s, the early mid-80s was incredible. He's got to be up there. But the guy that I think's just gotten forgotten about is Larry Bird. Go back, take a look at Larry Bird, look at his MVPs, look at his points, rebounds, and assists. And they're very comparable, if not better, to LeBron James. When his back was not messed up, Larry Bird is one of the greatest players in the history of the NBA. Say what you want. Go back, watch his left-handed game. That's the craziest thing ever. He had to save his hand for the next night, so he wanted to rest it. So he played the entire game left hand and put up, I think it was like 32 points, just something crazy like that. But Larry Bird was just crazy in his prime before the back injuries came around. Larry Bird was just one of the great players in the history of the NBA. So but you look at those guys, you start a team, you got Michael Jordan, if you have LeBron James, if you have Magic Johnson, if you have Kobe Bryant, if you have Larry Bird and you're starting a team, you can't go wrong with any of those 5 guys. And then you can always go back and talk about, the Bill Russells. And I never saw Bill Russell play. The rings count. I mean, what can you say? 11 rings, 10 rings, whatever, 11 rings. That's incredible. And he can always be considered as, one of the greats ever. But I'm always going to go with Michael Jordan. I've yet to see anybody that has that aura. LeBron was close. Kobe was up there. But I'm going Michael Jordan. But never forget about Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Those 2, if it wasn't for those 2, there would be no NBA right now if it wasn't for those 2. So, all right. So that's going to conclude my NBA section of the Hodgepodge Show. What we'll do is we will throw it to break, and then we will talk a little bit of college football for a little while. So we'll send it to break. This is The Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism. Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's efforts. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com. You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sutter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yes, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's effort. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planting season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
All right, everybody, we are back again. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Wednesday night. Remember, we started the show at 7 tonight. We're going to be pushed back for a little bit because I believe we have the Teammates Mentoring Hour that's right before us. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that's the show that was right before us. Always a great show with those guys. So we will start it back up here. We're going to switch over to college football now, and we're just going to go right with the heavy-hitting question of the day. Who's going to win the Heisman Trophy this year? Text line, light it up, 402-464-5685. Who is going to win the Heisman Trophy for college football? My selection, I'm going to to go with Caleb Williams, University of USC. He is going to become the second player in the history of college football to win 2 consecutive Heisman trophies or 2 Heisman trophies. You remember that Archie Griffin back in the 70s won 2 with the Ohio State Buckeyes. But I'm going with Caleb Williams. And the reason for this is you've got Lincoln Riley. Say what you want, Oklahoma fans. Not a fan. I know you're not, but you can't deny that he's an offensive guru. And now you're going to take Cliff Kingsbury, who has, put up some of the most prolific offenses in college football. He's back in the college ranks as the offense coordinator. So you've got Kingsbury and you've got Lincoln Riley together. And then you got Caleb Williams, and you've given USC another year of recruiting with Lincoln Riley. I just think that they're going to be probably one of the most explosive offenses in football. Caleb Williams will probably win the Heisman Trophy, probably should be the number 1 pick in the draft next year. So I'm going to go with Caleb Williams to win. Now for my dark horse Heisman Trophy candidate, I'm telling you guys all this now. So just say I told you so at the end of the year if he ends up being invited to New York City. But I'm going with number 6 from Kansas, Jalen Daniels. If you've not seen Jalen Daniels play yet, you definitely want to put Kansas football on your to-do watch list this year. Jalen at the beginning of last year came out on fire, got injured. Then Kansas has got probably what Nebraska would really want this year is they've got 2 quarterbacks down there that can play at any time. They got Jason Bean, who elected to come back again and play his final year out. And you've got Jalen Daniels, who's just an electric player. Both very mobile, both can throw the ball, both know the system quite well. You got Coach Lipo down there, and you got the quarterback's coach, Jim Zabrowski. Sorry about that. And then you got offense coordinator Andy Kotelnicki, who is one of those coaches that he puts his players in a place to succeed. When he's offense coordinator at Buffalo, they had Tyree Jackson at quarterback, big strong arm kid. They threw the ball a lot because that was going to Tyree's strength. And then a couple years later, they had Jarrett Patterson, who plays for the Commanders now, a great running back, and they devised an offense that would work well around Jarrett Patterson, where he put up crazy numbers, had a 400+ yard rushing game. And now you're going to see what they're going to do with Jalen Daniels this year. The mix of pass and run, they've got a lot of good players around. They got Devin Neal at running back that's probably going to garner some All-American candidacy. So it'll be fun to watch Jalen Daniels. Now you just hope that the young man can get through the season healthy, just to watch him play. So if you are a college football fan or just a fan of college football in general, you definitely want to check out Jalen Daniels at Kansas. He's electrifying, and it will not surprise me one bit at all if he gets an invite to New York City for the Heisman Trophy presentation, because he is that type of player. And Kansas, it'll be fun to watch them this year. All right, now we are going to move on to who is going to be in the Final Four of the college football rankings when it comes to the end of the year. Because as you know, we got one more year with 4 teams before it skips up to, was it 8 or 12? I forgot. Oh, where's my knowledge at today? I feel like I might be losing my brain. I couldn't even think of the end zone a couple days ago. So I'm working on this, but we got one more year of 4 teams. So right now, if you look at the AP poll, their 4 teams would be Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and right down. Who was our 4th? Oh, sorry. My bad. I wrote down. So we got Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and Alabama would be their top 4 teams right now to get into the Final Four for the college football championship. Georgia, they got a very easy schedule, but they have a very unproven quarterback room because you have Stetson Bennett, who's now with the Rams. But I'm going to put Georgia there just because I think they've got an easy schedule. But what Georgia could run into trouble with, though, is maybe not the convincing wins that might keep them where other teams might throw up some convincing wins that could move ahead of them. And then what could happen to Georgia is they make it to the SEC championship game and maybe they run into Alabama and Alabama beats them convincingly. And that could be a thing that could keep Georgia out of the top 4. But I'm going to go Georgia. Okay, so we got Michigan, Ohio State. Well, Michigan, Ohio State, they play each other. They can always bounce back. But I'm just going to say that there's only going to be one Big Ten team that will represent the Final Four. And I'm going to go Michigan. Michigan's had their number over Ohio State. It seems like Michigan has the team this year to be that team to get in the Final Four. But Ohio State, though, you've got Marvin Harrison Jr., but you got a new quarterback. So that's another thing. Michigan's got the quarterback. They got Blake Corum. So I'm going Michigan is my number 2 team. And then in my number 3 team, I am going to go with Alabama. I know that I have Georgia there, but I think that Alabama, one way or the other, will get to the Final Four this year. You just can't doubt Coach Saban. Coach Saban's that guy, like Lane Kiffin said at SEC Media Days. You have the Feinbaums of the world that come out and say, "Oh, Nick Saban's lost it. He's not the coach he once was. He's on the decline." You say that, and you make Nick Saban mad. And I think Alabama, they've got 3 quarterbacks down there. Not sure who they're going to go with, but I'm going to go Alabama in there. And then as my 4th team, I am going to go with USC. I'm not sure what they got coming back on defense, but I just think they're going to outscore people, which could be bad. And USC, they've kind of got a battle because you're going to have to deal with Utah. There's their Achilles heel last year, but I think Caleb Williams is going to be put in a lot of work to get back and get a chance at Utah. And I know they'll have Oregon, but I'm going to go Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, and USC in the Final Four. If you're going to say, Raff, pick us out a national championship team this year, I'm going to say Alabama. I just feel like when you begin to doubt Alabama, I think that's when Nick Saban says, "Hey, I got a little something left for you." And I think Alabama is going to be that team that's going to have their chip on the shoulder this year, especially with last year being left out of the Final Four. And a lot of people will be like, "Well, they lost 2 games," but you got to realize the games they lost and how close they were. They're 3 points away from being in the Final Four. So I'm going to go Alabama. So we'll sit right there with that. Now we will move on to, remember we're doing our hodgepodge show, so we could go anywhere right now. So a lot of talk earlier this week or last week was the top 5 college football teams of all time. I believe Matt Leinart, former USC quarterback, came out and put out his top 5. And it was, I wasn't really in agreement with it. So I decided to make the wide road to Raff top 5 greatest college football teams of all time. So at number 5, I have the 2005 Texas Longhorns led by Vince Young. The reason for I have them at number 5 is name a player from that team that played for Texas and you're like Vince Young, and then you're like, so you're sort of like Vince Young. He was the team, but he garners a top 5 ranking. So I believe they had Selvin Young too, who played running back. I think he played for the Broncos. Go me. But Vince Young by himself, number 5. If you had a few more guys around him on that team, definitely could see him higher. But I'm at Vince Young at number 5, 2005 Texas. At number 4, I got last year's Georgia team, the 2022 Georgia team. I mean, they dismantled TCU in the championship game. Stetson Bennett. They had defense was super fast. offense was good. You had Bowers at tight end. You had a lot of threats there. Number 4, I got 2022 Georgia. Just a great team. At number 3, this is where we're going to differ a lot from Matt Leinart, but I got the 1971 Nebraska Cornhuskers. Great team, great defense, great offense. Johnny Rodgers, Jerry Taggy. You had Jacobson. You had Glover. You had Jeff Kinney. And they beat Oklahoma down in Oklahoma in the game of the century, 35-31. Nebraska, 1971. The years go by. They're not getting the credit. You're throwing the Miamis of the world and stuff like that. And I understand it. And the 2001 Miami team was good. I get that. But were they as good in college as they were in the pros? I feel like they get like this positive, like, hey, they were really good. They had, yes, I understand they had a ton of all pros and a ton of first round draft picks, but in college, they struggled against Boston College. They struggled against teams. Yeah, they had maybe the best collection of talent in the history of college football. Yes, I'll say that, but best team, I'm not there, and I don't have them in my top 5, and I'm not ashamed of it. So that's me. At number 2, I got the 2019 LSU Bayou Bengal Tigers. Joe Burrow. I mean, the team, they were a force. They played well. They were a great team. Put up crazy statistics. For me, I have them at number 2. And then at number 1, I got still the reigning, defending, undefeated champions of college football, the 1995 Nebraska Cornhuskers. Another team I feel like going down the road of the 1971 team, the years go by, and I think people are forgetting just how great that team was. Tommy Frazier, you had defense, you had, a defense, suffocating defense, causing turnovers, sacks. You had Lawrence Phillips at I-back. I understand Lawrence Phillips in the NFL. Lawrence Phillips' personal life was a mess, but looking at just on the field and the weapons Nebraska had, I mean, Nebraska had 4 I-backs that all could have started at any school in the country. Nebraska, 2 quarterbacks could have started any school in the country. And that list just goes on and on. That offensive line, I think it was just the best team in the history of college football. And a lot of their statistics don't lie either. They didn't play a game the entire year that was that they even broke a sweat, I don't think. And you look at it too, they were taking out teams that were top 10 ranked teams. And I just feel if you would look back at those games, look and see how early in the second quarter, early in the third quarter, that all the starters were out of the game. And then you're totally mesmerized by just how great those teams were. But I have Nebraska as the number 1 team in the history of college football in 1995, 2 LSU, 371 Nebraska, 422 Georgia, and 5 2005 Texas. And a lot of that Texas too is they beat USC, because that USC team that year with Reggie Bush, Lindell White, Matt Leinart, I mean, they were an incredible team too. I think Stuart Cravens was on that team in the back end too. So that was a great team. Vince Young all by himself got him a number 5 ranking. So, all right. So what we'll do now is we're going to throw it to break. We'll come back. We'll put a nice little bow on the Wide World of Raff for this week, but we'll be back. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sutter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yes, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's efforts. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planting season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
All right, everybody, we are back again. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Wednesday. It's almost 8 o'clock, and it's been another fun show tonight. We're doing the Wide World of Raff hodgepodge show, just going through a bunch of questions and just kind of answering them. So now we're going to move on to, what shall we do here? What question do we have? Let's do, what is the most memorable game in Memorial Stadium? The most memorable game in Memorial Stadium. Mind you, this is the 100th year of Memorial Stadium. There's been a lot of great games there. They unveiled the new jerseys with the blue outlines that are going to be for this year. But what is the most memorable game at Memorial Stadium? Feel free to text into the text line, 402-464-5685, Sutter Heyman text line. Or feel free to tweet at me, ChrisRaff7, what your most memorable game is or any stories that you have. I always love reading them, always respond, always will give you a follow back. So feel free to give me a follow on Twitter. So my most memorable game at Memorial Stadium, I have three of them that for me. And then there's one that's not so much the game, but just the beginning. So my number 3 game at Memorial Stadium I have is the 2001 Nebraska versus Oklahoma game. Nebraska wins 20 to 10? Yeah, 20 to 10 over Oklahoma. Probably for one play, one of the loudest plays in the history of Memorial Stadium was the Mike Stuntz to Eric Crouch touchdown pass. That was probably, other than maybe Ndamukong Suh, and the field goal by Alex Henry in the Colorado game. It was that 2010, 11. But the Oklahoma Nebraska game, 2010. My number 2 game in the history of Memorial Stadium for me, I'm going to go with the 94 Colorado versus Nebraska game where Nebraska won 24-7. Brooke Behringer, playing for an injured Tommy Frazier, stepped in, took Colorado down. Just a fun game. All the glitz, the entire nation was watching that game at Nebraska. It was an incredible atmosphere. The only thing that might have made that better for me is if it would have been a night game at Memorial Stadium against Colorado, but it was pretty cool atmosphere that day in Lincoln. So I'm going to go with the 24-7 Colorado-Nebraska game. And then my number 1 all-time favorite Nebraska football game at Memorial Stadium, the 1992 Colorado versus Nebraska 52-7 game at Memorial Stadium on Halloween. It was the most ruckus, crazy crowd in the history of Memorial Stadium. Just a wild night all around for that game. It was just incredible. You had a freshman Tommy Frazier, even though the play got called back, but when he goes into the end zone and takes off his helmet and flashes the number 1 signal to the crowd, it was probably one of the coolest Nebraska's back moments that I think I've ever been a part of and ever seen in my life. It was wild. That was like right then when you knew that Nebraska was going to be a problem for the next 4 years at least, and it definitely proved true that day. So I'm going to go with Nebraska 92 Colorado, and then for my final question of the night, and I'm just going to leave this one open ended. So Nebraska for the last 10 years probably has been coming out of the northwest corner of the stadium, but now that they've finished up the new project, the Monster Project, they'll be coming out of the northeast corner of the stadium. Me personally, I'm good with this because I don't think much great has come out of that northwest corner. I kind of missed the South Stadium when they came out of there, but I'm going with the northeast corner. I think that this is going to be the change of tides for Nebraska football. I think coming out of that northeast tunnel, I think that's gonna change everything for Nebraska football. So what do you guys think about that? But I'm throwing it out there right now. The northeast tunnel is going to be the change, the switch, the flip of Nebraska football. Get away from that northwest corner. It just was no good for us. So, all right, everybody. This actually concludes the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. It's been another great Wednesday night. I hope you all have an incredible week, and I will talk to you next Wednesday. But you can always tune into The Drive from 8 to 10 on 93.7 The Ticket in the morning, 8 to 10 in the morning. Catch us there. So, all right.